Well, there's one more song, Suicide Hotline, which is, was that one where you were already there?
I was already there for all of them, except for one.
But for the writing of some of them.
Oh, for the writing. Oh, yeah. I was there for like about half.
Half of them you were.
Yeah.
Suicide Hotline was definitely like, I think I came with the song, but because I remember I wrote I came with the song and the lyrics, but you when I brought it to you and then you were like, let's put guitar in it and let's do this and the harmonies and everything.
Well, no, because the ending and all, let's move to LA.
Yeah.
No, because I did the chorus, I think, at the bridge. You had the D minor to A, I think.
Of Suicide Hotline? Bless you.
Yeah, that was another studio writing.
We write really well in the studio, kind of.
It was under pressure. I remember sitting in that second room, and you were wearing a parka, and you were upset. That was a emotional day.
Emotional day.
What?
I think I got dumped.
Yeah.
Well, is that where the song comes from then?
Yeah, that one and also Moved to LA. They were written.
Yeah, Moved to LA were written in the same day.
Pretty much, or finished in the same day or whatever. And so it's their. Yeah, so she was.
I got kind of dumped. Now I look back on it and it wasn't even really a relationship.
But it was kind of
but it felt bad at the time.
A lot of emotions.
I was really emotionally invested in this thing. Hemorrhaging emotions.
And we had 2 days, and we were like, all right, let's focus all of this on 2 kind of sad songs. Let's go. And then we kind of just spit them out.
In that sense, then, is there something you wouldn't write about?
Definitely not.
Is there something I wouldn't write about?
Or do you censor yourself a little bit sometimes?
Oh, God,
I think there's cryptic things just out of niceties of not being incredibly.
I mean, I say someone's last name and what is
I know. But I think the only thing is there's definitely nothing hidden, but there might be things that are
yeah.
I'm not going to be too obvious because that wouldn't make it interesting at all. You know what I mean? But definitely everything's included,
Well,
no filters.
for instance, the people described in boys.
Those are. I didn't even change anyone's name.
Okay, so have you heard from them? Do you know if they know the song?
So I got a text after we put out the video. I got a text from an unknown number that just said, "Sorry, I wasn't nice or cool," which is the chorus of the song.
Yeah.
And I was I texted back and I was like, "Oh my God, I don't know who this is, but I'm really sorry. You basically fell victim to creative license. I'm sure you were great." And it was Rocky, who the verse about Rocky is that he wouldn't dump his girlfriend because she gave such good head. And I think that's pretty much a good reputation to have in the public eye. I think he's kind of getting off fine.
Yeah.
It could have been worse. I haven't heard from anyone else. The last one, the last verse.
I found him on Facebook.
She found him on Facebook. I'm still friends with him on Facebook, but we still have a lot of mutual friends. So the mutual friends have been yeah, he's heard the song, he's totally fine with it. So I hope that they're not just lying to me.
Because this element of humor, that is important, right? To
not taking yourself too seriously.
Exactly.
Yeah, a lot of it is about not taking yourself too seriously.
And I think that's that's one not an ideal. What is that? A concept or whatever that we kind of want to promote. Definitely in the concept of being upset and just not taking anything too seriously. Because although we do write about sad things and being depressed in certain moments, we kind of want to push the idea that nothing
matters.
Nothing lasts forever. You know what I mean? That kind of.
No, yeah. Well,
because I feel like someone had kind of told us that when we were younger. That you might think that everything's really crappy right now, but I promise it's going to get a hell of a lot easier in 2 months. You know what I mean? That kind of, especially for younger people.
Yeah.
And is this mentality, is this something you take with you then when you enter the music industry? Because it can be quite a difficult.
I think it's I think not taking yourself too. We've been really lucky.
So if that ever had to come up, but so far we haven't even had a need to have that in mind because we've just been so lucky with everything.
I think not taking ourselves too seriously has really given us an opportunity to kind of be really out there though,
totally,
to put it all out there because we're just
We're like, yeah.
It doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter if everybody thinks we're
crappy
because like it's all
or people don't
in good
get
fun
it.
anyways, kind of.
Or people think that we're dumb or whatever.
Yeah, like we've definitely had people not get it.
Yeah, because it's like
because it's weird.
It's very intelligent, but it's hidden behind like a certain like cynics.
You know, because we don't have like 100 instruments and keyboards on stage, so we're not like a big pop band. But at the same time, like you know,
we're singing about boys.
We're singing about boys, so like we're not singing about like emo indie. I mean, I guess we're actually kind of emo. The lyrics are really emo, but you know, it's kind of like a weird middle ground for a lot of people, and I think it's not super. Some people don't get it.
So people who like straight pop music might not really get completely tied to like the musical aspect of it, but then people who get more into the musical aspect of it or understand that part of it aren't going to necessarily get the lyrics, and they're going to think that we're being completely serious when we like sing about Dream Boy and whatnot.
Right.
And so I think that that's just kind of like we're just like, hey, fuck it, like whatever. Like we're not going to take ourselves too seriously about it because people aren't going to get it, and there's nothing we can do about it. So why get upset?
Do you find yourself explaining a lot of the stuff then, or do you think, well, whatever you make of it, that's fine?
I think that when people like look at our interviews is when they, if anything, right?
Yeah.
I
don't think we have to. Maybe we do have to explain. We just don't bother to.
Yeah. Or when people talk to us like after a show and they realize that we're actually intelligent and that we're not just.
The only thing we really had to explain is the stapler thing. And like we have a song that's on the album that we don't even do live that much anymore, just because Kinski.
Oh, I totally forgot.
I know, because it's just like it sounds great on the album, but it's just like it's a little hard to do live. But it's about Klaus Kinski, and like that's. I mean, sometimes stuff like that we have to explain when people are just like, "Why did you write a song about Klaus Kinski?"
Or who is Klaus Kinski?
Or like, "Who is Klaus Kinski?" And like, why is this funny?
Werner Herzog. Right?
Yeah.
See,
if you think of Europeans, definitely would.
Definitely Europeans get the song more than Americans.
Yeah.
Okay. And well, there's one. Well, there are two covers on the record, but one of them is a Dolly Parton song.
Yes.
So how come a Dolly Parton song?
Because I love Dolly so much. Dolly Parton's incredible. I think she's like totally a feminist icon.
Totally.
And we both have a huge soft spot for country music.
You have a huge. It's so funny. We recently got asked. Like 5 songs that you keep playing recently or whatever.
Yeah, like your 5 last played songs or whatever.
Yeah, and it was like.
It was weird.
We have the most like just all over the place music taste. So like sometimes we'll be like, yeah, we're like really diehard country fans. And then you'll talk to us later and we're like, we're getting really into bossa nova recently. Like just
we both like completely separately from each other got really into bossa nova.
Yeah, it's like it's insane. We have very like niched preferences in music in almost every category. Pretty much. You know what I mean? But very like specific, like in every category of music.
Like we both listen to metal, but we listen to such different metal that we like don't agree on a lot of bands. I think.
But do you notice then elements of if there's a period where you listen to a lot of metal? Do you notice it coming through in what you write?
Yeah.
Like for songs coming out, we've been listening to a lot of like PC computer music and stuff like that. So we want to do more like layering and like have even more keyboards or synths or just like not necessarily computerized music, but just more elements. Because like that half of the album has like organs and guitars and like a lot of percussion. So it's definitely more layered, but we kind of want to take it to the next level because we're listening to all this music that has a lot of layers in it.
Right.
So I think that definitely.
Yeah, it definitely influences it.
And when you
I don't remember that wasn't what the question was.
Yeah, it influences like.
Well, you mentioned all these layers, so well, it's now I believe it's just the two of you. How do you translate all these sounds then to the live performance?
Oh, in the live performance, we're actually kind of working on that right now.
Yeah.
Because for recording, it's easy because we both play a bunch of different.
Yeah, so we can kind of just like spend the whole day just like walking around and playing with different toys. But we're actually trying to get.
We're looking for a guitar.
We're looking for a guitar
or
/
keyboard,
synth, guitar and synth.
It's definitely a challenge for sure. We're definitely like working on it.
Yeah.
Trying to figure it out. I think a lot of the like we can cover some of the layers because with the harmonies because we both.
Yeah. Well, there's like one song that we don't really do live,
We have a couple songs that we don't do live because they wouldn't.
Unless we can do them acoustic, but we can't do them live just because without guitar, it's just really not as strong. So when we're doing it acoustic and she's doing uke and I'm doing guitar, like it's too quiet for bass.
Right.
Then it sounds great. So we're waiting for like that kind of stuff to find a guitar / synth player.
Yeah,
if you play guitar, hit us up on the internet.
The Prettiots music at gmail.com.
What are you looking for then? Because as you say, you know practically everything about each other. So is it difficult to add a new member then?
No, it's actually a lot nicer.
We've been really successful with it so far.
Yeah, I think when you're really close and then you're spending like extensive amounts of time with people, with a small group of people in a small car, it's really nice to have another person to throw into the mix, for sure. Because it always like
that's not like
there's just some
part
it's
of
just
your,
like something new. I don't know.
It just like diffuses a lot of tension.
Yeah, and it's just like when we're back in New York, I see her a few times a week, like almost every other day.
Right.
So then like on tour, like it's fun to like also be with another person that you might not necessarily know as well on that level, or like playing live shows. Like I didn't know the person who's playing drums with us now, I had never met before.
Okay.
I mean, they had been friends for like 8 years
yeah.
or whatever, but you know, automatically that like completely changes dynamics and whatnot, which is like awesome, and it adds another layer to the music, and we get another voice besides the people who wrote the
Yeah,
songs.
and it's really nice to have someone who's like there have been things that our drummer now has said to us that I just like
Never noticed.
You know, I hear these songs so much, and we play them so much, and we always play them the same way. And he'll be like, you know, I really like it when you do this, and I'm like, wow, I never even
thought about that.
So that's good.
Yeah, but definitely like it's more fun. More people, more fun.
Okay.
We love a good party.
Party on stage.
And finally, then, well, the album is called Fun School.
Fun School.
Fun School.
It's what does it do for? Is it important to have this debut record? I suppose it is, but what does bringing out your debut record mean to you?
Well, it's funny because like we've already started working on the second record, and it's already
so different.
It's already just like the next level. So it's cool because like people will see this and they'll know us from this, and then they'll see us as that, and it'll be like I think we've grown a lot with the writing on the second one.
I think that's like, hugely important with any new band.
But this is like our premiere, like our first effort, and it's like it sounds kind of like a first effort, but in like a really good way. Like, you know, when like there are certain bands I like where I go and I listen to my first album and I'm like, this is really intimate, and like.
But then the second, sometimes like you hear, and then the second album, it's just like it's very, and that doesn't necessarily want to make you listen to a third album if it's kind of.
Yeah.
So I feel like when we listen to the
but it's
first
also
album,
like
it's
people
cool.
don't know who we are yet.
Yeah.
You know, for sure.
Which is crazy because we played like so many shows and all this stuff, but we just like we have a 7-inch.
We have a 7-inch,
Like,
but you know, we haven't put out a bunch of stuff yet. Like, we've put out a 7-inch, we put out a couple cassettes.
Yeah.
But you know, people don't know who we are yet, and I think it's a really good way to get to know us.
What do you notice now then about, because you say you've been developing since these songs were written, what do you notice about the new songs you are writing now?
Just so much, definitely a lot more complex.
I think I've just allowed myself to think bigger when it comes to music.
Yeah.
Like when I wrote these songs,
It was just
it was a lot of like
also.
me on a ukulele and then bass,
like
and I would
what-
think about a ukulele and a bass. And now when I'm writing, I'm thinking about keys, I'm thinking about guitar, I'm thinking about vocal. You know, like I'm thinking in such a broader.
And I also think that the
spectrum.
first half of the album, I mean, not literally, but the first, and as far as like the order
Recording.
that they were written, was just one person. And so I think that even like the whatever 4 or 5 songs on the album that were collaborative, that's already like there. But that was when we had just started writing together and we barely knew each other on like a songwriting level. And so I think that now it's like we know each other so well, so we know what we're thinking about as far as like the music part of it goes. And I know what sounds good with her voice, and she knows what sounds good with like everything like that. So it's just like more in tune almost in that aspect. You know, like even if it's not layered, even if we're just doing something acoustic, it's just we're more in tune. So you get like 2 brains thinking fully on the same level versus 2 brains thinking on what we would hope is the same one.
Okay, thank you very much for your
Thank
time.
you.